Sometimes I look like Wayne and Garth had a kid with his hair. Right on. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm outside here. The weather has cooled down just a little. It is currently only 75. Past like 3 days it's been like 95, so it's been super hot and I ain't really wanted to do much outside throwing wise. So I've got not a review for you, it is a comparison, but we're gonna see if it's actually a different disc or not. What does this look like here? We are testing the Sockibomb Slammers against the OG Slammer here. Now, just right off the bat, when I was thinking of what Slammers felt like when I was feeling the Sockibomb Slammers, I said this feels like a Slammer. In closer inspection, very small differences. But let's put the rims here. So as you can see on the OG Slammer right here, there is a more noticeable bead. There looks like the faintest line of where there is a trying to be a bead, but it's not on the Ricky. And if you look, this is just a little bit of a straighter slope, as on the Ricky Sockibomb Slammers there's just a little bit of a scoop there. The thumb track seems to be pretty much the same. That's misleading because that's the rim on the inside. This is actually the rim, so that's the width of that rim there. We're gonna see if there's a noticeable difference between an OG Slammer and a Sockibomb Slammer, and whether you should like be hunting only for Sockibombs or trying to find some like premium plastic OG Slammers, because those used to be crazy overstable. So that's what I bagged. But let's get into the video. But before we do that, make sure you're subscribed, ding the bell so you know when these videos come out. I need you to know. And check my community every now and then, and I post some stuff there. I've got a poll going right now, so check that stuff. And also consider being a Patreon patron. I post some stuff there. I'm trying to get some exclusive content going over there and do some giveaways. So I've got a few people right now that I'm very thankful for. So if you want to be a part of it, I would appreciate it. But let's go test these Slammers out. Alright, so our first test here, hopefully you can hear me, neighbors mowing. I'm going to just rip some flat backhands out, try to get about the same power on them. There's a little bit of headwind, so I don't know how that's going to affect them, but just flat backhands, maybe in the 60% range or something. Like I remember it. Well, Sockibomb Slammer didn't go near as far, and it was immediately on hyzer. Test on. Alright, so I was a little surprised on that first effort there. These, I'm going to hit them on some Annie, try to make sure I get the right, or the same power on them. But, yeah, I was surprised on that first one. I'm going to start with the OG Slammer first. Okay, so it didn't really Annie, but it stayed on Annie going straight, so it wasn't hyzering. That's one thing to keep in mind. It didn't really turn for me. I have no idea how Ricky does the Ricky Annie with this disc. I'm gonna try it. Okay. So that wasn't that different. Ow. That one felt like it was turning or had to turn angle more, but it still just went straight. I feel like those are only probably like 10 or 15 feet away from each other on that throw. I feel like maybe the most noticeable thing right at the moment is going to be that the Sockibomb Slammers maybe have less glide. Now maybe once they beat in, since they are more of a base plastic, that will change. And I will say too, that slammer is not brand new. I used to bag it, so maybe that's a little bit of a difference there as well. So, all right, so now we're going to do a couple low power forehands. See how they go. I'm kind of scared of this. My arms have not been. I worked out, and now my triceps have been insanely sore. I'm going to start with the OG Slammer, just a low power hyzer forehand. Okay, so I threw the OG Slammer a little bit inside. It felt like I didn't hit it exactly as good, and it did go a little bit further. So I think glide is a difference in this OG Slammer versus the Sockibomb Slammer. Flight wise, they seem to be pretty similar, but I think it's a glide difference at the moment. All right. Now we are going to do a little spike hyzer test. I'm going to try to throw a hyzer over top this red tree here. This wind's probably not going to be great, but put it up on a spike hyzer, see how these handle it. There's a hole there. Step right down in it. That was more like I was trying to do. Kind of hard to tell on that throw because the first throw was kind of bad. They both held it. That one's obviously going to be a little bit, I don't know, it might be a little off because I stepped in that hole there. They both held it. The Sockibomb Slammer actually went further on that one though. Okay, next test. This might hurt some. We're going to do some ante forehands. See how they fly on that ante line. So that was actually holding it. Let's try this one. Almost the same. I mean, they flew the same. Yeah, I don't know. Right now there's a slight difference, but not a huge one. All right, so now what we're gonna do is try a little bit of a little flexy forehand at it, just slightly flat, maybe a little bit of ante, and see how it flies on that. OG first. In the bucket. Oh, in the fire pit. Not far at all. Okay. Now this one. Get that one lower. That one was dropping more, but to be fair too, I threw it a lot lower. So you can't give that a true comparison on that. Very similar flight there, and honestly similar distance. We might run those back real quick and see if there's any differences on a second throw. All right, like I said, we're gonna run it back. A couple more kind of flat ante shots with the forehand. Why do I keep throwing that one way up in the air? That one was close to where this one went last time. That one was a little bit straighter with the hyzer at the end. I'll say this, when I do flick the blue one, that is the OG Slammer, it does feel like I can get just a little bit more of that slow Annie flight out of it with a forehand a little bit easier. The Sockibomb Slammer, I don't know, it might just be where there's hardly any glide to it. It wants to just just go straight dump. Like, that's what it feels like. Even though those two flights were not that different, there's a difference in the way they feel like they fly. One more round. Okay, this one I think we're just going 2 backhands. Try to get some power on them. See how these babies fly, and then we'll end. And what a great wind. We got a right to the left. Wow. That one I tend to throw high for some reason. That wind did some stuff with that though. There we go. Well, I threw them both really high. There's just a difference. Like the Sockibomb Slammer does seem to want to do that more hyzer angle, but go the same distance as the OG Slammer on a slightly different looking flight. It's interesting, but they're both crazy overstable. So let's go down here and end up the video. Okay, so in conclusion, the Sockibomb Slammer versus the OG Slammer. Is there a difference? Yes, there is a difference. Albeit, in my opinion, pretty small. Does it make a difference? There's maybe a slight difference in feel and hand, not a huge difference, but you might be able to grab one if you've felt them both for a while and tell a slight difference in them, but not anything different. Do I think it is end all be all? If you're really wanting to get a slammer and you can't get a Sockibomb Slammer right now, and you find an OG Slammer, rock the OG Slammer. It's probably going to do the exact same thing. Unless you got some crazy good power, I don't know that you're going to see much of a difference out of it. Like I said, and eventually the difference that's with this one, if you get a premium plastic OG Slammer, it's probably going to be nullified because this base plastic eventually is going to beat in, and I don't know how it's going to fly at that point, but bets are that a beat in Slammer, or Sockibomb Slammer, is probably, if there is that much of a noticeable difference, which I don't think there is, a premium plastic Slammer is going to hold its stability longer than one of these. Now, who knows? If they, if premium Sockibomb Slammers are coming out, I don't know much about that right now. There could be a bigger difference between those, or at least a stability, longevity difference. But to me, a Slammer right now is a Slammer. It's always been a Slammer. I used to throw them. That's why whenever Ricky announced what disc he was wanting to come out with first, and I said, Dynamic Disc had that, and they discontinued it, a Slammer, and that's what he came out with. It was just a little bit different Slammer. So honestly, if you're looking for a Sockibomb Slammer, can't get it, you can find a regular Slammer, try it out. It's going to feel very similar, and it's going to fly very similar. So that's my 2 cents. Any other old OG Slammer throwers that are throwing Sockibomb Slammers now, in the comments, let me know your opinion on this. I'd be curious to know, because for me, they feel very similar. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's all I got, guys. Till next time, peace.